repeated income would be in trading. Trading would be one of those areas. Trading is one of the sources of income that you could include on your cash cow. The other bit maybe would be on the affiliate. If you're interested in what we call a passive income, then you would go into the affiliate. The trading is more of an active source because it requires more of your involvement, a lot of your involvement, be it trading in the sports market, be it trading in the futures market. It requires a lot of your involvement, which of course, if you do, the reward is always immense. And the affiliate, you do it, it also requires your involvement, but once you set a system, you earn passively forever, every day. And RoyalQ offers us that opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to have both experience on both the active side of the trading and then the passive side, which is of the affiliate. Much as there's a little bit of a change in terms of the affiliate, but at the end of the day, we have multiple streams from the affiliate side. We would have those that may come directly as a result of your active involvement, all right? The active involvement, which will be, of course, the direct activation bonus, right? We will have those that we get from the fuel fee from the directly activated team members, which is called the direct quantification. Then you will have that which you're going to have or enjoy through the pool. What you would literally get through the team is now being taken to the pool. And every single day, as long as you've qualified, you are entitled to some passive income, a guaranteed passive income from the pool. You get that? So setting a financial goal should be important. You should be important to know your source of income, your sources of income. Okay? Now here in this case, our source of income, and for the reason as to why we're in for this class, is RoyalQ, right? RoyalQ is our source of income. And from RoyalQ, we have multiple streams of income, sub incomes. One through the trading, which we looked at, and then the other one is the affiliate, right? Now, the affiliate requires your active involvement through building a team, recruiting, and then building a team, duplicating, doing the duplication. The monkey do, the monkey see, the monkey do approach. And if you do that, you'll have streams of income. One from direct activation, two from direct quantification, and the other one is through the pool. That is from the affiliate side. That is passive. Then you have the trading, which is more active and requires more of your time. It requires more of application of some skills and knowledge to be able to maximize and benefit from this aspect of the trading. Now, you may have other sources of income in the traditional businesses, maybe from salary, maybe from other things, yeah? That is you. And then, I'm not teaching financial literacy, but I'm trying to build a background. I'm trying to make you understand, because honestly, a number of people don't understand this. Building a financial goal, knowing the source of income, and then, one of which we are involved in is, of course, RoyalQ. RoyalQ is our source of income. That's why we spend tirelessly every single day trying to bring people on board to learn something new, to have something. I have late started build a session called the Crypto Reloaded. Crypto Reloaded. Now here you would basically look at a number of things. We do a lot of crypto education. I tend to open people's eyes to think so deeply beyond just trading, to understand the aspect of trading as being one of the most powerful aspects through which someone can earn. But beside that, also there are a lot of underlying information that you have to understand or know. So it's a program that I started, though for the moment I've still paused it alongside my my other private mentorship class. Now, what happens here when you have when you're to benefit so much from trading, which is the active part of benefiting from RoyalQ, learning is going to be your friend. You have to make sure that you learn. You have to make sure you learn. A number of the people within the community have gotten a chance that you have literally people who have sacrificed to offer, to help, to give you some free knowledge, to give you some free skills. That's why the technical analysis class came on board. I remember in 2021, or in 2022, when we started this technical analysis class, literally, we started with a few people, very few, very, very few. I remember then I would have in class just a few people, very few people when we started, and it came out of a way of looking out for a solution. We had people who had floated in very huge floating losses after the bull run of 2021. And then you have people quitting the businesses because of floating losses, and they didn't have any way out. And then we came out with this other extra class. It was called an extra class. So it was the morning class, the extra class, and then we had the 10 a.m. class, which was being run by Julius. So, but before the 10 a.m., we would have, first of all, a session like this, the technical analysis class. Whatever we learn from here is what is then shared on during that 10 a.m. class. And I remember then I would have a few people. I remember there were really very few. I remember what I could remember was Coach Mopiwa. Then there was Chedrick Bibu, Dida Doris, the Kabanda, and a few others who currently have quitted the business now because of the change in the compensation plan. Not everyone is a trader. That's what you should also know. So they wanted to benefit more on the affiliate side, but it didn't turn out well for them. So they saw it as something that will set them back. But that was it. So when I started this, it was just aimed at trying to enrich some skills in people, trying to make them approach RoyalQ, especially the trading side, with a different idea, with a different mindset now. Okay, because people had learned their lessons, people were floated and they didn't know what to do. Because then there were really not so many traders. Most of the people were syncing strategies for some of the master traders. And syncing their strategy, they had very poor strategies that could get people so much into floating loss. And yet on top of that, we had fuel fees that would be shared on top of the gas fee that RoyalQ is going to take. You have to pay some of these master traders also for that strategy, for copying that strategy. So it was like more of a double, triple loss. And this had to come up in a way of trying to look out for a solution. And it really turned out well. People learned. A number of traders were built through those sessions, and I'm glad that we have a couple of them now in the community. And when I look at them and I look back, I'm always very grateful to see great leaders who emerge as powerful traders through some of those avenues, like leader Chedrick Bwebo, like Coach Mopiwa, and a couple of others. So when people can learn and become the better version of themselves in trading, and they can now nurture and train, like we see with a number of these other traders, why would you be exceptional? Why won't you have time, really? If you're taking this business seriously, why won't you have time to come and attend the classes and learn from free knowledge? Yes, there is an aspect of free knowledge, but then there's an aspect of the paid knowledge as well. Here, we're giving you the background. We're giving you a basic, a fundamental to get started, to approach the market differently. And then you see from there, if you want to advance, then you go for some of those other mentorship classes, those private classes, or learn more, or by yourself, or just do your research if you want to. Okay? So if you understand that RoyalQ is one of the sources of income, is one of your cash cow, you will take it seriously. You have to take it seriously. I gave you that background on financial literacy, financial goals, setting a financial goal, and knowing your source of income. And if RoyalQ is one of them, you can take it serious. You've seen all the areas from which you can benefit from, right? This one, though, it is dependent on team building, but this one is something that you can do without even bringing anybody. And you can make so much. Oftentimes, I've shared my results with you in the community. Some of you may look at it and may think it is impossible. My friends, it is possible. It's so much possible. You can make $500. You can make $600, $400, $300, $200, as long as you have the capital. Literally $1,000. For me, I always say $1,000 can change your life. $1,000. You can make $300, you can make $400, you can make $200 every day consistently without even floating. If at all the floating loss may be there, it may be minimal. But obviously, you always see a way of maximizing. But it will require you learning and mastering this, the art in trading. So if you have a session like this and you take it for granted, then it seems this business is not for you. Okay. So I'm sorry if I'm going deep, but it's very important that I point out this because some of the people in this community who will complain, who will, who would want to look out for blames, who to blame, throw out blames here and there, trying to bring excuses, trying to, tarnish the image of RoyalQ or trading with RoyalQ because of their own negligence, because of their unseriousness. If you don't make money, you don't limit it. If you're not making it, why are others making it? What is the other thing that the other people are doing that you have not done? It's what you should think about and then assess yourself. Okay? And one of them is this. You're not taking this seriously. You are not. Really. So if you don't take it upon yourself to really learn, my friends, you'll be in this business 1, 2, 3 years and you have nothing to point out to as something that you can be proud of that arose from the business that you took as one of your sources of income. Because trust me, salary can delay. Trust me, the traditional businesses, you can be praying for customers to come and buy your item. But here, you don't need to pray. You don't need to wait. Literally, if you want money, it's a matter of going into the market, make 1 or 2 entries, you have $100, you have $10, $50. Can that sort out your financial needs? Can it sort out your financial needs? You get that? Because literally, we know that there are things that we may plan for in the planning aspect. Because if you know your financial, just like I was saying, if you know your financial incomes or sources of your income, it will require you, listing what your needs are vis-a-vis what your wants are. Right? There are things that are needs you cannot do without. Then there are things that are wants. The needs here can be food. You can't do without food. Every day people have to eat. You can't do without, okay, but even tea, yeah, you cannot do. If you walk distance places to work or to your other traditional businesses, you need some transport. Every day, to and fro. It's a need, right? You need to put aside something for emergencies, for medical. It's a need. School fees. It's a need. You cannot, if you have a family, there's no way you're going to run out of paying school fees. You need to pay school fees. You get that? Now, then you have wants. You can say you want to build a house. That one is, you may say you want a TV set, a good one. You may say you want a bike or a car. These are wants. These ones here are those that even if you don't have at the moment, life can still push on. You can set a period in which you may acquire them, maybe a little bit of long term, maybe at the end of the year or 2 years. But this one, every day, they are daily bills. You need to pay them. Maybe utility, like power and water, it's a daily routine thing. You get that? So with this, you cannot wait for salary. You cannot, honestly, it cannot wait for salary. You need something coming in every now and then. And that thing you can get in trading. You wake up in the morning before you go to work, set 1 or 2 trades, have some $50, put it in the pocket. That can set you in the course of the morning. During the day, during some lunch break, set 1 or 2 trades, have some $20, $30. In the evening, before you go to sleep, have 1 or 2. You have another 30. In a day, you'll find yourself making maybe 100 or 200. That day is set. Now, even if someone does not fall sick, you have it aside. At least you have an emergency fund. Even if you ate some food, though you do not consume everything, at least you have some money set aside. You know you're guaranteed transport. So it's a need. It won't wait for salary. You get that? Otherwise, you'll go into debts. And those debts, by the time salary comes, it just moves and finishes up with clearing debts. And you have nothing to save. You have nothing for emergencies. And that is where you feel that life is hell. You begin thinking somebody has done juju on you. You think there's some generational curse with you. Why? You are failing to plan. Failure to plan is planning to fail. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm saying this, I always feel very sorry for those who don't take this seriously. This is a game changer in my life. You see, when I talk about it, I talk about it with a lot of passion because I know what trading has done for me. And I know what it is still doing for me. And I know what it is yet. You get that? There is a power in trading, ladies and gentlemen. There is power. And only if you can realize the source of that power, then you will be good. The source lies in the skills, in the knowledge. You get that? So let's take some of the things seriously. Let's take these classes seriously. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you find yourself that you're always very busy and you may not have the time, enroll for some private class. Whoever you feel can take you through. But the end goal is learning. Learning is just about learning. For us, what we would do here is encourage you, tell you what you have to tell you. But at the end of the day, we walk out, we end the call, we're going to concentrate and make the money. For me, I talk, I tell you whatever I want to tell you, but at the end of the day, I retire. After the class, I go and concentrate and I make my money. Whether you're in class or not, I have nothing to lose. You get that? But at least you have my time now, and I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to give you an highlight. I'm trying to paint a picture about this business. And I'm trying to highlight the key areas that you have to take so seriously for you to really enjoy this arena. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3 years, you're going to be in this, and all you have made is you've made back your activation fee. Nothing more, nothing less. The whole year, I imagine. Simply because you don't want to move out of your comfort zone. Simply because you don't want to spend some resources to buy data. You don't want to be on phone, whatever you're doing, because you're so busy. You don't want to spend a little resource to go for maybe some classes. Really? Then why are you here? You get that? So let's take this thing seriously. Okay? Let's take this seriously. If I was to talk about financial literacy, some of you may think, yeah, because I must tell you, I have a background of I teach financial literacy. I worked with an NGO that dealt with the community, that is working with the community, and financial literacy is one aspect that I used to handle so much well. So I have a little bit of background on that. But this is just an highlight. It may not be so important here, but this small background can help you begin focusing. Okay? Honestly, trading, man, ladies and gentlemen, there is money in trading, okay? There is really money. If there is something that can sort you out and set you to the path of financial independence and then eventually freedom, it is in trading. But you need to know the approach, okay? You need to learn the approaches to approach the market. I see people fidgeting in futures trading. Yes, it pays, it's good. I also see people fear sports trading. Yes, it pays, it's good. But now, if you complain about sports, you complain about futures, where are you going to lie? For me, the futures is one area that I like, but I don't trade so often. For me, where I rely is sports. And I've always told people, if you have $1,000, what is taking you into the futures market? Like, what is taking you there? You have $1,000, right? As a capital. What is taking you to the futures market? To get rich quick, overnight, in a day or two? That's what you want? You want to make $10,000 from $1,000 in a day or two? Are you being driven by some influencers post and sharing or experience? Are you living somebody's experience other than your own? Because that's what literally people do. People want to live people's experience. Okay? Somebody has turned 1,000 into 10,000 a day. Maybe you want also to do the same. Are you sure? Do you know the apple? Do you know what he did? Do you know what she did? You want to live somebody's experience when literally you don't know how that it takes that person to turn that $1,000 into $1,000. You don't know probably the person wait for time. You don't know probably the person had something is that they may not tell you, right? Yes, there is money in futures. It is true, there is money. But people approach it differently. The challenge is people are approaching it differently. People are looking at the futures market as if it is free money set in the market. You're just supposed to grab. As long as you set your leverage, you can just get anything. My dear, there's a lot of traps in futures. There's no free money in futures. You work for it, you sweat for it. And by the time you're out, you say, oh, you breathe in some sigh of relief. Okay? Heavily, you say, wow. This, because it comes with a lot of emotional, there's a lot of emotion attached sometimes when you're in the futures trading. The fear of losing, the fear of missing out. It's just, but there is so much to understand about futures, right? For me, before you go into futures, for me, I would even say you first relax, concentrate on sports, learn enough, know how best to approach the futures, and then you try out. And when you're trying out, you don't need $1,000. $100 is enough to help you to set you off, right? As you're learning. But if you have $1,000, set it aside. Go and trade in the sports market. Make money conveniently with a lot of peace of mind without emotion. With $1,000, make that 100, make that 200, make that 300 a day. It is money you want, right? Yeah. You don't need the futures. Yes, you need it also, but with that capital, literally, you don't need futures. I'm not degrading futures, but you don't need it if you have that much. If you don't have enough, 200, 300, 400, yeah, futures. You can try to add up something from there. But as you do that, you also need to pay attention. You need to understand so much of, you need to know the risk control. You need to understand your risk control mechanism, the risk management strategy. If you have $200, for example. How much are you willing to risk out of the 200? You may say, okay, I have 100 here. This is what we call wallet management. You have 200, but you're willing to risk 100. This one is your reserve. Out of the 100, how are you willing to risk the 100? Are you going to risk it at once, or you're going to be releasing it, or you're going to be risking it in bits? Okay? So how you're going to be releasing it into the market, or how you're going to risk the 100 is what we call the risk management. How you are willing to risk it. Because risking literally is that amount you've set aside, that the capital you're going to risk, or the amount you're going to risk is that amount which you are willing to lose in case anything goes wrong, right? In case it goes wrong, at least you're okay with losing the 100. You get that? But then how you're going to risk it? Are you going to enter? Are you going to enter with it at once? Or you're going to set it in bits. There's this trader A and trader B. This trader A may say, I'm going to enter at once. This trader B may say, okay, out of this, I'm going to first of all release $20. The market against me, then I'll release another $20. As it continues going against me, I'm going to release another $20. So I'll release $20 continuously for as long as the price is going against me, because I made entry. My intention was the market to go the other side, but now it is going the opposite way. So I'm going to be releasing, in bits until I finish all the what? The 1,000. I mean the $100. In so doing this, you are a smart trader. You are a very, very smart trader for doing this. You know what you're doing. That is the futures market for you. You know what you're doing. You know how you are risking. That's what I call risk management. How much you're willing to risk at intervals of the price going against you. In bits. But the beauty is with the RoyalQ, every other time you're releasing something into the market, you're doing two things. You're managing your risk very well. And the other thing is you understand the power of DCA. Okay, not even DCA, because now this is not DCA, but you're understanding the effect of the robot buying positions at whatever interval as the price is going against you. You understand that aspect. Because the goal of the robot doing that, how the robot has been set, is that whenever it is going to execute any buy order, as the price is going against you, the intention is it should move your average price closer to the market price, such that if the price eventually begins coming back in your favor, you have a small gap for the price to rise through, and then you begin floating in profit immediately. You don't have to wait for long. But imagine this person here. Let's assume for trader B, after making entries in bits, the price had to go by, let's say, 10% dip. This person here will see a very small floating loss compared to this person who has entered at once. Because now when this person enters at once around here, when the market price goes against him or her by negative 10%, it means that person will be floating at 10% or $10 floating loss. So whatever will be reflected there will be less by $10. But this person who released the $100 in bits will have a more smaller floating loss, maybe even negative 4%. Why the difference? Risk management. This is the difference between a real trader and a gambler. Trader A is a gambler. Trader B is a trader. He or she knows what he or she is doing. Because at the end of the day, this person with a floating loss of negative 4 is going to begin floating in profit faster compared to this person with negative 10. This person with negative 10 has to wait for the price to rise all the way by positive 10 before they can begin floating in profit. But this person in negative 4 just needs 4%. And then the other remaining 6%, all would be in floating profit. Just imagine the difference. And if trader B, if all of them remain at the same TP, let's say all of them wanted to take 2%, this person is going to be getting 8% in profit, but this person is going to get at the end of the day only 2%. Why 8%? Because you have 4 to get you out of floating loss, you have another 6 to get you to the initial entry point. Now then, plus the 2% which you had set as your TP. So you have 2 plus 6, a total of 8% in profit. But this person, only 2%, because first of all, the other 10% was to get him or her to the initial entry point, and then the other now 2% for the profit, literally. So this person makes more compared to trader. Hey, I hope I am communicating something. I know the approach is different today, right? But I hope I am communicating something. Yeah. I hope I am saying something. I'm communicating something. Mm? Mm-hmm. Yes. Nice to see you. Ah, Shem, leader Shem. You get that? Okay. That's nice. If I'm communicating something, that is beautiful. Yeah, this is a session. It's just impacting knowledge. It will mean nothing if I just say, okay, said this. Or, repeating the same thing. Mark D, stochastic, this. But really, you don't understand the underlying effect of whatever you're doing. Like, you literally don't know. Mhm. Oh, send signal. Send signal, send signal, send signal. Huh? But literally, to implement the signal, you're not going to reap anything out of it. So it's very important that we understand some of the things. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much for everyone who has commented. I think we are following. That's really good. It gives me the belief that we are together, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for the comments. Those who always comment and give feedbacks, I'm grateful. Most people don't want to give feedback. They're just there. They don't want to react. They don't want to say anything. I mean, when they're on the call, but it is fine. Those are personalities. But when you come in a learning environment, we need to be active. We are learning, yeah? Even in something that may seem so obvious, it doesn't debar you from saying a word or two as well. Because for me, oftentimes my sessions, I want you to be more of interactive, feedback, because it's not lecture. Gone are the days of uh, of university where you just sit in a lecture, somebody talks, and then calls it a day. This is financial class. Yeah, so let's move back. Hey, nice seeing you, Queen. I hope you're good. And all the leader, I see a great leaders on board. Nice to have you here. Let me reshare my screen. So, with that said, uh, let me come back to my screen. Share screen. Okay. So there is so much to learn. There's so much to learn here. Me, I've just given a highlight. When people talk about risk management, when people talk about wallet management, there is a lot that is encompassed within. It's just too much. There's too much things here that you need to understand. Anyway, the moment you understand that, that's when you're going to approach futures, especially. That's when you're going to approach futures market with a lot of, you'll the floating, how is it called? This aspect of each floating loss maybe you may, I mean, not floating loss, but liquidation. You may incur liquidation. There's no guarantee that you will not, but still you have the power of minimizing it. Okay. So how you manage your capital, how you do your risk management strategy is the game changer in futures trading. And two, the takeaway is if you have huge capital, you don't need futures, okay? You can literally make something from the spots. And it's proven. It's proven. It's proven. I have a couple of people here who can testify that it is possible, right? It is possible. $1,000 can do something like greatly, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't have to take you a month. eh? You can turn $1,000 into $1,000 in less than maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, there are a couple of people can testify that it's possible. So that's why I was saying you don't need features, but if you need it, then exercise good risk management strategy. Now let's come back here. Now, when we talk about market analysis, we know when we talk about technical analysis, people talk about technical analysis, but there is so much to understand that when we talk about market analysis, first of all, as a trader, when you come into trading, we have traders who may not have time, and then traders who may really have time. We may have categories of traders who may want to be seeing profit every day. Then we have those categories of traders who will not mind even if it takes them a month. Then they, get once. It's okay. So the long-term traders and then the short-term traders. Now, when you talk about market analysis, there are three key areas that you need to understand, and it will give you a basis of an approach of the kind of trader you're going to be. Okay, so we have three distinct approaches used by traders and investors when it comes to, we would call it, evaluating the crypto or the assets, and to help them make informed decisions. So there are three approaches, what we would literally call types of market analysis. So when you talk about market analysis, we have three distinct approaches. One, there is what we call the fundamental analysis. There is what we call the sentiment analysis. And then thirdly, there's what we call the technical analysis. These are the three approaches that are used by most schools of traders when they want to analyze the market. Some people go fundamental, some people depend on sentiment, and then people go for the technical. Now, all these three are the things, the parameters that are involved. Okay, there are supporting documents and tools that you can rely on to help you assess these securities or evaluate these assets. Okay, and then you make informed decisions. There are a number of parameters considered under the fundamental, a number of them. Okay, a number of them, because with fundamentals analysis, you're basically not looking at the chart. For instance, you're looking at a lot of I would call it, how is it? It would be more of like you want to assess. You want to come out. You don't want to base on. Let me just say, you don't want to base on hypes. Okay, you don't want to base on assumptions. You don't want to base on who is saying what. Like you want to go and really get the real thing, the real value, and the real picture of what the project intends to address, what it is all about, what it intends to address, the roadmap. There are a lot of things you're interested in knowing, such that by the time you put your money there, you're confident. Okay, you're able to see, okay, from this point, this is the direction this crypto project is taking. So in 1 or 2 days, in 2 months, or maybe 1 year, I think this is where it is going to be. So there are a lot of things, parameters you look at when you're doing fundamental analysis. So much that to some extent people don't ignore it when they're doing technical analysis, because it doesn't really fare out so much when you're doing technical analysis. In my own view, right, and my own experience, it doesn't really fare out, especially if you're this you're this trader who looks at profiting every, maybe after every 1 hour or 30 minutes or 15 minutes. You're taking partial profits, small TPs, repeatedly and consistently. So for you, you are aiming at making money every now and then. It may not so much play a key role, right, in your analysis. But in fundamentals, there are a number of things you look at. There are a number of things, really. It requires you also going and understanding this in details. But just an overview of that is that in fundamental analysis, there are things you look at. For example, one, you look at you can do what we call the white paper review. White paper review. Yeah, you look at the white paper review. Now, of course, with the white paper, the white paper is a document that in details describes a particular asset, especially for cryptocurrencies with white papers. It describes in details a lot of information about that cryptocurrency and the projects that surrounds it, okay, or what that particular project is all about. So there's a lot of information you can find when you do on the white paper. You can get about the supply. You can get to know the price, the listing price, the roadmap. There's just so much on the white paper. What the project is all about, what it intends to address, the future, what it looks, how much in terms of value it estimates, okay? It anticipates maybe after like 5 or 10 years, it gives you that picture, okay? A picture of where that cryptocurrency is going, okay? So there's so much in the white paper. You can do the white paper review. You can go through the tokenomics. You can go about looking at the team or the brain behind that crypto project, and then maybe look at the partnership, which partnership, which companies, which institutions is the project partnering with, because that one is also very important, because it gives you a lot of information. You can also look at the adoption, and then maybe the use case, okay? Adoption and use case, like when you're looking at the adoption, how it is being adopted, because the adoption depends on what that crypto is being used for. If that cryptocurrency has good utility, if it is something that is going to be used on in everyday life activity, maybe like in paying transaction fees, or that means that adoption will also be good. So there in details other things that you can look up for there. But this is just a review. I'm just giving you a tips, okay, on that. But if you wanna learn more, you can go and do more and learn about that. So that's basically on the fundamental. Those are the things you look at for. Sometimes you may go ahead looking at the on-chain data. Most of the times it is called the on-chain analysis, but this falls under the fundamentals still, okay? You can look at the on-chain data. You want to analyze the active addresses. Now, about the active addresses, some cryptocurrencies, some people who come out with their cryptocurrencies tend to, let me just do this. Some people who, when you're looking at the on-chain data, especially if it is the active address you want to access, okay? You need to be so much careful on when you're paying attention to the active addresses, because with the active addresses, you can have active addresses from only the same people. We can have like a total of about 100 people sharing and sending and doing transactions between themselves, sending back and forth that cryptocurrency to increase the number of active addresses. This one is red flag, my dears. It's red flag. You need to know the kind of active address. Is it from different, people, or is it just from the same people? You can know that. You can know. You can know. It's a common scenario for rug pools and these cryptocurrencies, these scam cryptocurrencies. Okay, the scam coins and tokens. You'll find that the people may have maybe like a team of 100 people, so they do the sharing. It may even not be 100 people. It may be just maybe even 50 or 20. But they open addresses. They open what? They open accounts in multiple either exchanges or in multiple wallets. So they do the transfers within themselves, so that when someone who is not keen on analyzing the address will just say, okay, I see the number of active addresses are really much. Oh, I think this could be good. People are adopting this. People are buying. Before you know it is, if you analyze it keenly, you realize it is just the same people transferring and doing transactions between themselves. To try to create something to trap those who may not so much be keen on, assessing their address. And then before you buy, you put money there, and then they sell everything. They get your money. You will wait in years and years for the coin to come back. In vain. It's a common scenario for people who love, especially investing on those new cryptocurrencies from the DEX, from outside, not the exchange. Because most of those don't actually go on the exchange. They're always in the decentralized app. And people who love DEX, yeah, it's good also, but there's so much that happens around there. Better again, these ones that are on the exchange, because at least there it's a little bit safer. But those ones, people who, you buy the coin when the price is too low. You buy this. It's gonna be the next coin. You know those category. It's gonna go up. Before you know it, you see the price just going dig down from $80 maybe to 0 point something dollars or $20. Those are the category. When the price is at 80, it is deflated, so people buy. It's gonna go to maybe $1,000. Then you jump in. Before you know it, the price is going down. On-chain data analysis. You gotta be careful, guys. There's just so much behind this, and I sometimes feel bad for people who move and want to get rich quick. Not knowing that really in trading you can make so much and safely and conveniently. Yeah, everything has its own challenges, but there are other challenges that are minimal. You get that? Other than going into things you have no control. And you, hey, the next Bitcoin, the next what is going to be the next game changer. It's on-chain data. Look at the number of active addresses. Look at the transaction. You are still on the on-chain. Look at the transaction. The transaction volume in 24 hours, the last 1 week. How has been the transaction? And also you look at, for those who are at the staking, the staking activity. But for me, this one here, if you see, there's more of sell on the transaction. Yeah, just know from $80, it will go to 0 point something dollars. It's or from $100, it will go to something. So it's just about those analysis, okay? When you're doing fundamental. Now that would be important for people who are looking at long-term investment and people who are going into what? This one. You need to be very careful on that, okay? And then maybe you could, lastly, maybe on the fundamental, you can also look at the development team, the development team. The development team also sometimes plays a critical role because there are people who have been known to have come out with crypto projects that turned out to be very successful, okay? I give a simple example. Like if today CZ comes out with a new cryptocurrency, for example, or a cryptocurrency project, I think a lot of people are going to gain confidence to invest or to adopt to such cryptocurrency, given the records of what BNB has done. Right? People are going to base on this and also know that the reputation of how the guy developed Binance from scratch and to making it and turning it to one of the leading cryptocurrency exchange. Definitely, if you hear CZ is part of the the development team, you won't hesitate that much, right? At least you'll put some money there because at least there's some degree of confidence you have, right? You can do that. Okay, so it's just there's just a lot when you're doing the fundamental. Now, when you go to the sentiment, for the sentimental analysis, there's really nothing much you do. Here, literally, you'll just be evaluating public perception towards a given crypto project or about the market. What are people talking about the market? How is the market faring today? At least it will help you gauge what we would call the market sentiment and then the emotions of people. Okay, because here you're just looking at the perception. You're concerned about people's perception towards a particular crypto. If it is Bitcoin, what are people talking about Bitcoin? Okay, what is the overall market sentiment about Bitcoin? What are people's emotion towards Bitcoin? Okay, so if you do that, it will help you understand how other investors are feeling about Bitcoin. So that means if you see the sentiment is positive, then it means people are going to people will be putting money. Some liquidity will be flowing into Bitcoin, and definitely when liquidity goes into Bitcoin, then the price is going to go up gradually, and then all the altcoins will follow the same, right? So when you're doing sentimental analysis, you're going to be looking at maybe you'll be doing social media monitoring, okay? You'll be analyzing data from platforms like Twitter, like maybe Telegram, okay? But most importantly, you'll be looking at just what is trending, what public opinion is all about with regards to that. You can also be looking at, maybe you can be watching news, business news, and media analysis. It's very common nowadays, even on some of these international channels like Al Jazeera, CNN. They talk so much about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so you can as well follow those articles, because at least it will help you look at, it will help you look at the sentiment of traders or business people, investors. You can as well maybe look at what we call the community engagement. Most of these crypto projects, those good crypto projects, tend to have communities, okay, in either their social media platforms like Telegram, Twitter, or what you call X. So you look at the engagement, okay, the overall engagement. Are the people active? Are the people dormant? Sometimes you see, sometimes some of these cryptocurrency exchanges tend to delist a cryptocurrency is because they assess the engagement, okay, the activeness of the community. If they see, people are being so negative, or they see, the community is going a little bit dormant, is not so active, they begin raising suspicion, okay? So before they can also go into losses, they would rather take off some money from such projects, and they list the coin, right? Yeah, so that people can also not be trapped in such scenarios, because you never know. The people may decide to dump the coin, they take the money, and then the people who are in the exchange or trading in the exchanges will be at a loss, and then it leaves the exchange owners at a loss of beginning to pay back, people money, because of probably the negligence of the crypto project, owners. So it tends to monitor so much about the community engagement, and also you can also be looking at maybe the influencers. You can track through the influencers. Most of the cryptocurrencies project, when it is just new or it is just coming on board, they tend to have some influencers that tend to promote them. Yeah, they will talk about them so much. They will give a lot of education around that crypto project, trying to educate people, make people understand what the project is all about, and all the details that may be necessary for people to adopt such cryptocurrencies. So they tend to give these guys some money, and then they promote these cryptocurrencies. So that is just general. That's general when you're doing the sentiment. Now, lastly, the technical, which is our center of focus. In the technical analysis, which I think we are going to pick up from there. There are parameters, there are support tools that we have to get used to, or that we have to acquaint ourselves with, for us to do this technical analysis very well. Because when we're doing technical analysis, literally, this is where we are now trying to so much focus on price movement in real time. Okay? We want to track through price movement in real time. We base so much on the data with regards to price movement, okay, in history, in relation to where the price is, so that we are able to predict what the future movement will be like. So it's nothing to do with reading. It's nothing to do with tracking or following which influencer. No, it's about going to the chart. Look at how the price moved. Look at where the price is now. Use those two information, try to relate and see what the future movement will be like. You just predict. You can predict for the next 1 month, for the next 1 year, for the next 1 week, for the next 1 day, for the next 4 hours, for the next 1 hour, or even 30 minutes. You can predict based on what already happened. You get that? So that's what technical analysis is all about. It should be important to relate the previous price movement or historical price movement in relation to current price movement, to be able to tell where the next price movement or direction. And that is what technical analysis is all about, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we're good up to that point. So with that background, I believe we are good. We're on the same page. And somebody is talking, is saying, "Oh, and talk down." You guys, me, I didn't say anything. Some of you are now bringing topics here. Me, I'm not talking about anything. I didn't mention any token. I didn't mention any coin. I did not. So me, I'm just giving tips. So when you see some of us are not into some of the other things, you should just know that for us, they call us, they say for us, we lack knowledge. For us, we lack knowledge. So that's why we don't get involved in things that knowledgeable people do. Yeah, so I hope we are good. And it's been a pleasure having you guys this morning. I felt we should have something at least because the classes was going to be postponed, but then yeah, I also have some engagement though. I tend to have some engagement and have some classes that I run. Sometimes it will affect this normal class, this class of hours, okay? But when I get a chance, I will always come and try to share something with you guys, just to so that we open our eyes, okay? Yeah, so that we open our eyes, so that we are good and we learn. We keep on learning. We keep on learning. And I've talked about a lot of things, literally, touched here, touched there, touched there, touched there. But out of all that I've touched, I believe that you've picked something. And yeah, you're going to begin approaching the business you're doing with a different ideas and a different view. Because at the end of the day, I want you guys to be, I want us to be successful traders. I don't want us to fall in the categories of people who move about here and there, looking out for where to really rely so much. East or West home is best. It is okay. It's not bad to venture into other, into other areas, but embrace trading. Trading is where you will learn. You will this should be your fallback position. You go and try out other things and does not work out. You come and fall back and begin and try to. There is more of free money here in trading. It's not free necessarily, but because it also comes with a lot of things. But there is really so much here. That you can benefit from than some of those other yeah. You understand? Investment, call it staking, call it mining, call it minting, anything. Yeah, that's the the people may talk about. This is the fallback position because at the end of the day, 100% control is here. You have your money. You know how much you want to put in the market. You know how much you want to get from it. You know when you want to get it and how you want to get it. Not where you put it. You are not sure when you will get it. You're not even sure whether you will get it. And you don't know how much you will get it. It's crazy, very crazy. Okay? So, all right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this interactive session this morning. I hope if I have time again tomorrow, we shall pick up from there where we've stopped, and then we push and see how we can learn something new. Always just to share, just sharing ideas, sharing experience, to protect ourselves, to give us meanings and reasons for being here, for choosing trading, okay, and more so RoyalQ. I know it is not favoring all, but I know RoyalQ is one of those business that is here to stay. It's gonna stay, no matter what. It's there. It's there. It will be there. It may not favor other people in some other areas. I am one person, by the way. I don't so much rely on the team building. Okay, since they changed the plan, I've made it a point to focus on trading. Yeah, but also I've not stopped helping the team as well. I still share with them signal. I share with them a little bit of tips, and yeah. But at the end of the day, the money is in trading. Okay, If I get 1 or 2 people, yes, I qualify for that particular month. I benefit from the pool. But whether I am in the pool or not, there's nothing to lose, right? Yeah, because at the end of the day, we must also accept the fact that this is somebody's business. They're also looking at making money, but they have given us opportunities, countless opportunities to choose from and make the money. Okay, it's somebody's business. Okay, they are also, it's a win-win. They also want to make money, and yeah, we can have suggestions here and there. We may share ideas, but they know why they started it. They know where they're going. So at the end of the day, if there's some part that is still working and working so perfectly, why not? You tap from that end, right? You tap from an area of convenience, and you make money. You make money, they make money. Life goes on, right? Yeah, but most of all, the most important thing here is the learning here helps you. Even if you decide to say, okay, tomorrow we are closing, like you won't have anything to worry about because you are not reliant on the team building, right? At least you had some extra skill that you only got to learn because of joining RoyalQ. Otherwise, if you had not joined RoyalQ, you wouldn't think about even learning to trade. You wouldn't think about learning technical skill. You wouldn't think about even crypto at all. You get that? But because of RoyalQ, you now have a chance. You're getting exposed to the environment of crypto and the different avenues and channels through which you can make money. So you should be thankful in whatever way. You should always be thankful. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys. Happy to have everyone who was in part of the class, the great leaders there, friends, yeah, and students also. Seeing some students here. Happy to have you guys all. And I don't know if someone has something to say among the leaders who are on board. Doris Angel, anything to say? Coach Mopua, anything to say? And any other person, if you have something to say, just raise up your hand. And yeah, it's important because there might be something important that you may want to pass across. And yes, Yusuf, your hand is up. I don't know. I saw your hand is up. Is it Yusuf or Ausuf? I don't know. Somebody's hand was up. I don't know whether they have something to say. Okay. You're welcome. Yes, Leader Obian. Nice having you here also. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. And if there's no any question from anybody, we wish you the best and happy trading. I hope if there's any other class ahead, please also take your time and try to be there, try to attend. There could be something new that you learn from there. I sign out and have a blessed day.